Not, we are turning the corner on summer. I can't even believe I just said that.
I know.
But I'm really happy. No tears, Dr. JJ, because you are here to share this delicious family recipe, which involves a summer fruit, if you will.
That's right. It's an Italian crostata, and crostata literally means to encrust. And it's a great way to take summer's bounty or anything that you find at the farmer's market or anything in your freezer for that matter and make it into a beautiful open-faced pastry.
Who taught you to make this?
Well, it would kind of happen by accident. My grandmother grew up with us and used to make beautiful pies, and she would leave me the scraps. So I would literally, there's my grandmother, my mom on my left.
God.
And
Look at how fantastic your grandmother's dress is,
1972, that was the day. We were colorful. But anyway, with those scraps, I would literally put them on the counter and fill them with jam and fold over the edges because I wasn't good at crimping. And little did I know, I was actually making little mini crostatas at that point. Because it's very rustic and very
it doesn't have
perfect.
to be peaches. It could be anything.
It could be anything. And the cool thing is that at the end of the summer, when you're finding plums and peaches and nectarines, you can actually peel them and cut them and freeze them. And in the middle of the winter, when you're really craving that taste of summer, you can make this in the summer.
Well, you guys are craving that taste of summer right now.
I want to guess.
There you go.
We have
These are little minis that we made for you.
Oh, a la mode.
So I know you got started on this earlier today because it's not that quick of a recipe, is it? You got to make the dough.
Right, and the dough is predicated on the fact that you need tender layers. And the way to do that is actually to freeze your butter and then grate it in your Cuisinart, or you could do it by hand. This will give you an even distribution of beautiful, flaky layers, and it keeps your hands off it so the butter doesn't melt.
Right.
You put the butter back in the freezer, and then you change out to your regular blade or in a bowl with a spoon. Put your flour, your sugar, your salt. Bring your frozen grated butter back out, or if you're using shortening, you can freeze it and grate it too. You pulse it just a few times just so that it breaks it up and redistributes it, and throw in ice water, about 2 ounces.
Why ice water?
Ice water because you don't want to melt the butter, number one,
cold.
and you want to pulse it, and then you flour your board pretty generously, dump everything out, and it looks like it won't come together, but look what happens. Literally,
oh my goodness,
your dough comes together very easily. I'm minimally handling it. And then you roll it into a ball, wrap it with saran wrap, and throw it in your fridge for an hour, and you've got an extra one for later that you can throw into the freezer.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you already rolled it out.
Yeah, and so you roll it out, and the key thing, and this is a really good tip, is that you can actually roll this on parchment paper because there's so much butter in it, and that way you don't have to transfer it and then put it onto...
Can you get that, Schwartz, whoever's tasting? Do you see the butter in there?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
that's such a key thing that you said. Make sure that butter is frozen because it makes it flaky, like you guys
That's right. So when the crust bakes, basically the butter releases water, and then you get a steam cloud above it, and then you get those beautiful flaky layers.
I don't like that this requires pacing on my behalf. I'm holding back slow.
This needs to be 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
I need more. This is so delicious.
Look at me go slow.
It just tastes like summer in a crust. It's really, really, really fresh. Okay, so the next step that we do is that we want to get our fruit, and in this case, we've made some beautiful peaches. And to this, we're going to add either a little bit of flour or cornstarch, just depends on what you have in your cabinet. A little bit of raw sugar or white sugar. Again, I like raw sugar because it gives a little more flavor and texture. A nice pinch of salt because that augments the flavors. And then to brighten the flavors, especially if your peaches aren't totally ripe, you either want to throw in a little bit of lemon juice, or in my case, I love a little amaretto because peaches and almonds are a great combo.
What a great idea, JJ.
Mix them up.
No, what if I wanted to put like blackberries and blueberries and raspberries? You can do it all together.
You can do it all, and just make sure that your fruit is as ripe as possible. And you can mix any of those flavors because all fruits are compatible. The only thing I probably wouldn't put in here would be kiwis because I think they would disintegrate.
Right.
And then what you want to do is you're going to mound your fruit right in the middle, and you want to leave a 2 to 3 inch margin around here. And this isn't the prettiest, but when we're done, it is. I've made a crumble with almonds, with rolled oats, with a little bit of salt, and an extra half stick of butter. And again, the butter is going to melt down in these layers. So you want to generously put your crumble on the outside.
That alone looks like something you could eat for breakfast.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this could be good on anything. Just you could put this fruit in a pan with a crumble and forget the crust and make a gorgeous thing. And then the key thing with a crostata is that you're going to just deplete.
Oh, look at that. You've
your
gotten better
dough.
since you were a little bit.
I am. But see how easy it
72
is?
is not so far away,
And
but-
the edges are very rustic, and it really doesn't matter. And then this last one's like a diaper. You just fold it over like that. You want to
beautiful,
You
JJ.
want to brush. Thank you. You want
What
to
does
brush
that do?
the crust. This is with egg yolk and water. It gives it color and shine, and it also gives something your sugar.
Could you use Mod Podge instead?
I don't think so. Nor
No?
could you use Happy Glue and all those other things. Yeah.
Because they do have a shine version of it.
It's amazing you went to medical school for this. Was this a 12-year education?
This was just one of the bonuses, I think. And so pretend that this is nice and even over there. Take a little bit more of your raw sugar, sprinkle it on top because that gives you a nice little crunch on your crust. And then you want to throw it in the oven at 450 for about 20 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
Wait for it. Wait for it. And out it comes.
Oh, boy.
Debbie, get your fork and your knife.
We got to cut this. Put that there.
Wait,
Let's
how?
cut that.
Hers is bigger than ours.
Yeah, you get some more.
You get the big one. That's not.
Wow.